Hello and welcome to the College of Mid-America. This is the course Religion in the Public Square, and my name is Mikey Mewborn. I'm going to be your instructor for this course, and we're going to have a great time. What we're going to do today is I'm going to give you a brief introduction of the course, as well as giving you what is required of the course and making sure that we're all on the same page and what's expected. So if you want to, you can take your syllabus that you've received. I've sent you a copy of that through via email. And if you'll take a copy of that, and if you want to run along with me through this, that'll probably help us. I'm going to not tweak things, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hone in on some things that you definitely need to know about. So make sure that you follow along with me as much as you possibly can. My information is at the beginning of it. I'm Mikey Mewborn. My email is mewborn@mabts.edu. My cell phone number is 901-483-1396. I'm fine with you emailing me or texting me. If you're going to give me an assignment or you have a question about an assignment, make sure you send that to me in an email. But if you need to get a hold of me very quickly, then definitely feel free to text me or to call me with my cell phone number there. And so make sure that you do that. But most of my correspondence, I like them to all to be in the email format or in email at mewborn@mabts.edu. Let's talk a little bit about the course, because we're going to have a lot of fun in this course as we deal with different topics like government and Christianity and what that looks like going together. But let's look at the course description. It reads this way: an introduction to key issues connecting religion and political thought, such as the nature of government, the historic role of politics, and the relationship between religion and political issues. Special consideration is given to the relationship between church and states and the crisis of moral authority in American society. And so what we're going to look at is government, the separation of church and state. We're going to look at how is the government encouraged by Christianity and vice versa. We're going to look at what are the impacts that religion has in a structure, in some governmental structures that are set up. And so we're going to look at that. It's going to be a lot of fun as we do this. And this course is going to be very engaging because of the relevant topics that we're going to discuss. So be prepared to talk about them and discuss them, and definitely stay in tune with what's going on in America or around the world, because those topics are very important when we're walking through the class topics. I really want us to engage in what's going on in our society, because the church is playing a role in all of that. And so we're going to look at those types of things. The course objectives. Students will demonstrate an understanding of the biblical principles regarding the relationship of church and state. Students will gain an understanding of the American constitutional system of government. Number 3, students will analyze various legal and political issues currently affecting American citizens, especially those problems encountered by people of faith. Number 4, students will demonstrate an ability to think critically through ethical and moral issues within governmental, political, and religious systems. So these objectives are going to, what we're going to do in this class is really work hard at trying to understand how everything works together in the way that God created things, and the way that God has brought things about, even the government in the Old Testament as well as the government in the New Testament. And what does the Bible say about government with the Gentiles, and how does that play out? Also, let's think of the topics of, if God is the one who's putting leaders into place, how does that affect all of us? And so we're going to answer some of those questions in class and bring up those discussions. And it's going to be a lot of fun. On page 2, we're going to talk about the course requirements. The syllabus signature page is the first thing that comes up there. Each student must read and understand this syllabus in its entirety. Furthermore, each student must sign the last page of this contract and submit it to the professor by Thursday, January 25th. Failure to do so will result in a 3% deduction of the student's final grade. Online students can post, "I have read the syllabus in its entirety." I have to know that you read the syllabus, because this is a document for us that we both are agreeing on. And that is going to help us as we go forward in setting up grades and doing those types of things. And so you'll be held accountable based on what you've been given here. And so make sure that you get that to me. As you will notice, the syllabus that we're going through today is going to be the syllabus for residential students that are actually meeting in the classroom, and as well as students that are online. So you're going to see a little bit of both things being shared here, but just know this has gone out to everybody, and I'm going to kind of point out a little bit of what I expect from each type of student, whether they're residential or online. So make sure you know those things. Let's talk a little bit about the required reading. The required reading will come from the following texts. Students will read both textbooks, Cornett and Grudem, in their entirety and affirm in writing the book reports that the required course reading has been completed. Additionally, the students will refer to Beeman's book, The Penguin Guide, for test and research purposes. And I'll show you Penguin's Guide. I'll show you that later on. We're going to just kind of mention that throughout the course a little bit. But let me show you the books real quick. This is Daryl Cornett's book, Christian America, and what a great read this is. You're going to really enjoy this book. And then the other one, which this actually is not that thick of a book, and then the other one is Wayne Grudem's Politics According to the Bible. And it's definitely thicker, but it's a great reference guide, a great textbook for you to help you understand these issues a little bit better. You can see them mentioned there in your syllabus as well, okay? Class participation, this is for residential students only, of course. Each student is expected to attend every class session for the benefit of their learning experience. Per the seminary policy, students are allowed a maximum of 9 absences in order to receive credit for the course. So if you go over 9, those are circumstances that usually call for a failure in the grade or an incomplete in the class or the course, and that we'll have to deal with that. But don't let even that come close to where you are in your attendance. That would not be good. So let's definitely try to stay under that 9 absences. And plus, participation grade is a big thing, and so we're going to be looking at all those things. Attendance policy for exam days, and this is for residential students as well. Just to kind of note on this, for online students, you will have a period of time that you'll be able to complete your exam, and it's normally a 24-hour period or 23-hour period and 59 minutes, something like that. But what you will do is you will sign on into Moodle, and when you take that, you'll take the exam within a period of time, and then it's no longer available for you to take it. So you need to take it, and of course it's going to be on Central Time, whatever we do, Central Standard Time. So make sure that you know those types of things, okay? Let's talk about the attendance policy for exam days, and this is residential students. An excused absence is defined as a personal or family illness, death in the family, or death or emergency on the church field which requires the student's presence. It is the responsibility of the students to submit a written excuse to the professor on the day they return to class. Otherwise, the absence will be counted as unexcused. The student is responsible for all classwork missed during an absence. And so this is attendance policy for exam days, attendance policy in general. Going further, students entering the classroom after the bell has rung will be given a tardy. Each counts as 1/3 of an absence. Leaving the classroom early without permission also counts as 1/3 of an absence. During special conferences, whether it's Founders Days or Missionary Days, things like this, which could come up also. There could be things that the seminary brings about, whether it's a revival type day or whatever it might be, where students are required to attend, classes will not meet. However, class attendance will be taken on those days by the seminary or by the professor. So make sure that you know about that. Students should refer to student handbook for the seminary attendance policies. Exams. Each student will complete both a midterm and a final examination. The final exam will not be comprehensive, so that's great news. You will be required to know things as we go, but I'm not going to ask you at the end of the course to remember everything verbatim as we go through the course. The exam schedule is shown in the attached schedule, and we'll look at that here in just a little bit. Class project. Now, this is for everybody. The student will write a 12 to 15 page paper, double-spaced, related to a topic in class. All topics must be cleared by the professor. So just a thought on the topics, because there could be several things you want to write on. Maybe you want to write on capital punishment, or maybe you want to write on abortion. Maybe you want to write on freedom of speech. Just the different freedoms that we have in general. Whatever it is that you want to write on, whether it's morality or ethics or something like that, I need to know what that is so I can clear you on that, to make sure it's not a topic off of uh, out of the classroom or out of the scope of what we're actually studying. So make sure that you know that. A little bit going a little bit further into this project, the class will be the work will be typed and written according to Kate Turabian, a manual for writers of term papers, theses, and dissertations, 8th edition. One of the things that you will understand very quickly if this is your first semester or one of your beginning semesters is that we do everything in Turabian style. Um, we follow the Kate Turabian. Some people will get very upset with Kate Turabian as they write these papers because the style and formatting is possibly a little bit different than you've done in the past. But once you learn it, it's very, very easy to do. Um, the Mid-America also has a Turabian guide to help you with things like that, and that'll probably be sent to you if it hasn't already been sent to you by the seminary. So make sure that you know about that. I'm going to be looking for things such as formatting. I'll be looking at. I'll be measuring things out. How are your indentions? How your margins? All those types of things. Where is everything on your title pages? Those types of things, I'll be looking at that. So make sure that you fall in line with the instructions given through Turabian Guide. The paper must be original to the course and 10 full pages of text. That means that's your writing. So there's 10 pages of your paper. Your paper is to be a 10-page paper, but it's going to be longer because you're going to have your title page, table of contents page, and you're going to have your bibliography. So it's going to be longer than that. It's going to be like 12 to 15 pages, but at least needs to be 10 pages of full content, okay? Also, what you need to put in there, a minimum of 12 sources, which include at least 4 scholarly journals, must be cited in the paper. The paper will be due on the day indicated in the course schedule, and you'll see that here in just a little bit. Late papers will be penalized. This paper will be graded using the rubric on page 11 of this syllabus. The paper is worth 25% of your grade. This is a major portion of your grade. Not only do you need to turn in a paper, but you need to turn in an edited paper, a revised paper, a paper that you've looked at and you've done well with and you're happy with it. So make sure you check for spelling. Make sure you check for all those types of things. The honor code. Students are expected to comply with the seminary honor code concerning academic and moral integrity. Academic work that is done by the student will be assumed to be that of the students. Any work that is done where academic dishonesty or plagiarism is involved will be unacceptable with no chance for resubmission. Such violations will be grounds for failure in the course. The student should read carefully the student handbook for the seminary honor code. Plagiarism is just unacceptable. And one way that you can make sure to stay out of any plagiarism or any stealing of somebody's ideas, it's very simple. If you take an idea, a thought, a fact, a comment from somebody, if you just simply put quotation marks around that thought, and you're going to quote that, and you're going to put quotation marks around it, then all you do is footnote it. That's all you do. But any idea or any thought or facts or whatever that you're going to take from somebody else and then you're going to put it in your own wording, then what you have to do is you have to footnote that sentence. So a lot of times, if you have 2 or 3 sentences that are going to be the thoughts of somebody else, but you put it in your own words, what you will do a lot of times is put the footnote at the end of the paragraph or at the end of that thought, all right? And so that's going to help you and help me, of course, for not questioning you on certain things. One of the things that's simple is to see somebody's writing change, and they know when they've copied somebody else, maybe from the internet or whatever it might be. Be very careful about this. There should be quite a few footnotes in your papers. You should be researching. You should be using these types of things. So make sure that you know about that. No plagiarism. Plagiarism is unacceptable, especially at this level. Book review. The student will write a 3 to 5 page book review about the book, Christian America, Perspectives on Our Religious Heritage. The student should follow the guidelines for the book review and the worksheet in this syllabus. So at the end, I'll give you, and this is the book. This is what you're going to write your book review on. Great book. I mean, just so much fun to read that book. And it actually shows some tension in it, which I enjoy when I'm reading books, to show you the differences um, of what different people think on the ethics in America. It's really a great read. So make sure you know about that. Posting. This is a big deal for our online students. Students are required to post comments online for each class session. There are 3 class sessions. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the day of the class, I will be putting things on Moodle, and you need to talk about those and discuss those. I'm going to at least need one one comment per day, so that's 3 comments per week, and I really would like to have those comments in before Thursday or Friday, or before Friday, so that people can discuss them together. What also I'm asking you to do in this is, of course, respond to me um, every time I comment on something, or I ask a question. Even if I don't ask a question or bring a thought up, I need you to still make a comment on the lesson that you learned for that day, because you're going to get the lesson. You just need to make comments on it, whether or not I say something or not. And then, of course, I want you per week to at least post a thought on somebody else's comment or question that's going online. Okay? Going further, late assignments. All assignments, including reading reports, are expected to be turned in on the indicated due date at the beginning of class period, whether or not you are present. Late assignments will be penalized 5 points per day, excluding weekends. No reading reports or papers will be accepted after the last day of class. Missed examinations. Exams that are missed due to excused absences can be made up with prior submission from the professor. It is the responsibility of the student to make arrangements to take a makeup examination. The student must provide a written excuse in order to take the makeup examination. Exams missed due to an unexcused absence cannot be made up. That is just a no-no. Make sure that you're careful on those things. On page 4, we're looking at the class grading, and the grades will look like this way. This is how your grade will be determined. Participation grade is 10%. Midterm examination, 20%. Final examination, 20%. Paper is 25%. Assigned reading is 15%. And book review is 10%. This is how your grade will be made up. Now, let me give you something that's very important here, because a lot of people don't understand how grades are determined sometimes, and they think that they deserve something maybe higher than they really do. Let me share with you. It says in your syllabus here, refer to the seminary catalog for grading scale. The student must earn the full percentage point for each grade. For example, an average of 94.7% is a 94%. Therefore, it's a B. And so you got to be careful about this. It's not an A, it's actually a B. So you got to be careful about this. Next, you see the grade point averages on 12-point scale there system, and you can see how all of that's played out there. Course and syllabus modifications. All efforts will be made to follow the syllabus, of course, but the professor reserves the right to make changes as needed. So if we have a snow day, or if we have something where it's just something comes up at the seminary and we need to change something, then I can change the syllabus as well. I don't plan on doing that very much, but that's just definitely something that that I have the right to do. Class conduct. Let me just run through these very quickly. All talking should be stopped when the bell rings. Students should be attentive to the prayer request of all class members. No one is to leave the classroom until the class ends unless it is an emergency. Computers and other electronic devices may only be used for taking notes or other class-related activities. Surfing the internet, texting, tweeting, etc. are disrespectful and are not permitted. Students who abuse this policy will not be allowed to bring such devices to class. That's a very big deal. Class is not dismissed until the professor dismisses the class, even if the bell rings. So if I'm going to hold you over, or if we're doing a thought, or somebody's asking a question, and we need to work through that for just a little bit longer, we need to stand in our seats. And then number 6, students should exhibit a Christ-like attitude and demeanor at all times. I want you to go back to the posting for just a moment on this. When somebody posts something, I want us to have a Christ-like attitude in our posts. The things that we put online and the things that other people are looking at. We might have a critique of somebody, but I don't want to see any Christless activity. One of the things that I would like to definitely see is that we can have a good discourse. We can definitely argue, or we can definitely disagree with people, but let's do it in a Christ-like attitude, in a Christ-like way. And if we do that, then we'll definitely be on the right track and encouraging. We'll have a lot better time going through the class. As we get into page 5, this is our class schedule. As it says at the top, the professor reserves the right to deviate from this schedule if he deems necessary. The professor will give ample warning if he expects to change due dates or exam dates. So the exam dates that are in here are pretty much written in stone, but if something comes up, then I'll let you know. I'll give you plenty of time so that you can change some things that you need to change. It begins on January 16th with an introduction to the course, and so that's kind of what this is today. It's an introduction into the course. You can see the topics and the scripture texts and things like that if we have all those types of things. But what we have here is the topics that we're looking at is government in the Old Testament, government in the New Testament. We have biblical principles concerning government, 5 wrong views of government, Christian America, Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, Constitution, things like that, Bill of Rights. And then we have, well, before the Bill of Rights, we have midterm examination on March the 1st. So make sure that you know about that. You can also see the reading on the right-hand side of the page, so you want to keep up with that type of thing as well, okay? Bill of Rights there. And then we have spring break, March 13th to the 24th. It may be the 12th through the 24th, but it's that week, those 2 weeks. It's very simple to kind of see what you have there, and you'll definitely know when your days are off, of course. Supreme Court cases, we'll look at those. Christians and government, religion in the public square. We're going to kind of talk, and we're going to actually share a lot of things going on in America, pertaining to this, and I'm going to ask you guys to be a part of that, bringing your thoughts of current events of what's going on. Abortion, euthanasia, capital punishment, self-defense, gun control, marriage, family, immigration, freedom of speech. All these things are very relevant of things that are going on today. And so, but even before that, let's go back to page 6, and it says this. It says, your book review is due on April the 10th. And if you skip on down, term papers are due on the April the 26th. That gives us a little bit of time so we can finish out the course. Then reading reports are due May the 10th, and then May the 15th is your final examination. And for residential students, it's 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And then for those who are online, your exam will be on May the 15th, okay? So that's kind of what we have for our syllabus. You see a selected bibliography starting on page 8, and those are books that are definitely good for reading in this class, and so that should help you out quite a bit. We got a journal there at the end as well. That's good, very important for the class. Let me show you this. In page 11, it's a grading rubric for papers, and this is the way that I'll be grading your papers. The criteria on the left-hand side of this says this. It says presentation of ideas, so I'll grade you on that. Organization and flow, research and support, Turabian, and then style and mechanics. And so I'm gonna break this down. This is the way that I'm going to be. Each of these columns or lines are worth 25% of your grade on the paper, and so I will go through there and give you the amount of points that I believe that you'd have received for this, for that area or for that criteria, and so I'll be grading it in that way. All right, I'll have a total score for you, and you'll see those later on, of course, in this course. And then online posting rubric. Here's what this looks like. Criteria. You got timely discussion, contributions. Is it timely? Are you doing it at the right times? Then next we see responsiveness to assignment, demonstration of knowledge and understanding gained from assigned readings. Are you posting because you've read something? Are you really doing the work? Adherence to discussion guidelines. And so that's how you'll be graded on this. And so you're going to need to post 3 times per week, making sure that you do that. The next one is the syllabus signature page, and make sure you turn that in. If you are a residential student, if you're online, you can just write or send to me in a message, I have read the syllabus in its entirety. The next thing you see on page 13 is book review, and also the next page is as also saying your book report, but your book review is this is how I want you to give me your book review. Now, let me say this should be in Turabian. Your book review should be in Turabian. That means it needs a title page. That means it needs table of contents because you need to get into the practice of giving papers in like this. And so make sure that you do that when you're sending me things or when you're giving me things. Make sure it's in the right format and style, the Turabian format and style. These are the things I need: in identification, thesis, summary, evaluation. A lot of what this is going to be about is your evaluation. So make sure you do that well. And then read and report. It just simply tells me that what you've read. Okay, so there's two books that we've looked at. There's the Wayne Grudem book, and there is the Daryl Cornett book. And what I need you to do is, and best way to do this, just read both books in their entirety. And then that way you can just give me, you say, well, I've read 100% of the reading that was expected of me. But in the case that you did not read it all, what I need you to do is you need to take all the pages that are in these books. You need to take it, all the content pages that are there, and add those up. And then you're going to give me a percentage of what you've read of that, of all of it. So maybe you read Christian America, but you didn't finish reading Wayne Grudem's book. Then you need to give me the percentage of what all of that is. And Wayne Grudem's book is a lot larger, so you could have only read 50%. So make sure that you get that right. And of course, this is all honor code, so you need to be very careful to do it with the utmost integrity. Okay. Anyways, well, that's our course, and it's just exciting to be on this adventure with you. I'm excited to kind of charge into these issues, these timely issues, and very relevant. On the news lately, there's so much going on with immigration. There's so much going on with freedom of speech. There's a lot of people are able to speak out so much because of social media. Sometimes social media is stronger and has more of a punch than the news media. And so there's just a lot of neat things at this point in time that we can discuss, and we're just going to have a great time in this course. I am so excited to be a part of this with you. Please let me know if you need anything or if you have any questions. But we're going to be getting started this week. So God bless you and have a great rest of the day. We will see you soon.